I say go for it. Hey everybody, and welcome back to this week's episode of Brand Your Passion. Today I am super excited because I want to talk to you all about how knowing and understanding your strengths can help you to tell your story and build a brand around what makes you so special and what makes you the best at what you do and what sets you apart from everybody else who's doing maybe similar things to what you're doing or is in a similar industry. The thing that sets you apart from them and makes you the one to go to. Part of that is your strengths. Building a brand and a business around those strengths, around what you're amazing at, what you're naturally really good at, what people come to you for. This is going to help you to stand out, tell your story, and share the magic that is you with the world. I shared this process and this story with the Creators Brand Club last month. The Creators Brand Club is my monthly membership. It's a bunch of creatives who come together, collaborate, learn from me about building their creative business and their brand. Last month's theme was all about uncovering your identity, and part of that was finding out what your purpose is. But part of finding your purpose is finding out what you're really good at, what you love to do, and the impact that you want to have on the world. And you bring those together in multiple different ways to create your purpose. And part of your purpose, like I said, is what you're really, really good at, and that is your strengths. And the reason why it's really important to build a brand and to build your business, in fact, around your strengths is, number one, people want to trust you and know that you're really good at what it is that you are offering them, right? Whether you're offering products or services, you're selling your work, you're selling what you can do for them, whatever that is, they want to know that you are the best at it, right? That you are maybe qualified to do that thing, or you have the strengths that mean that you are the best person for that service or product. Like I said, it also sets you apart from everybody else, right? Let's use me, for example. I am a branding coach. There are hundreds, if not thousands or millions of branding coaches out there. Part of what sets me apart are my strengths. I have this unique combination of strengths that make me the perfect brand coach for certain people, right? It makes me different from the brand coach over there, from the brand coach over there, who have different sets of strengths. It sets me apart from them. And I'm going to share with you my strengths in a second. My strengths have all grown and come through who I've been my whole life and what I've learned along the way and what I've become really good at, what I was naturally good at as a child, as a young person. It's part of my story, and it's a story that I can share with all of you, right? I can share with you why one of my top strengths, which we'll get into, is futurist. And what does that mean for me? And why does that make me a really great strategist? Why does that make me a really great coach? What does that mean for my life? What does that mean for my business? What does that mean for me as a creative? You know, it's part of my story, and it's a story that I can share with everybody else, and I can build my brand around these strengths, right? I can build a brand that means that people know that I am the brand strategist or the brand coach that is a strategic thinker who thinks about the future, who's a great relationship builder. We'll get to this, but I can build my brand around these strengths. So those are the reasons why it's important and amazing and really transformative to do that, to build a brand and to start shaping your business through your strengths. And this has completely changed my whole business and my whole brand over time. I had done the Strengths Finder test maybe 4 years ago or something when I was part of a leadership team, and I did these strengths and I kind of learned a bit about them and didn't really do anything with them. But then this time last year, I did the test again and I re-looked at my strengths, and it changed my whole business. So before I was doing design and branding design for other people, right? And I did enjoy that, but what I loved the most about it was the strategic thinking around it and seeing the big picture and like the creative direction and forming these relationships with people where I could really understand and relate to what they were going through and what their vision was and what they wanted. And I could help them to think about how they would turn that into the business of their dreams, right? And so I'd already been thinking about changing from doing design to doing more strategy focused things and building a brand around me as a strategist, as a strategic thinker, as a brand strategy coach. This is what I wanted to do. And when I figured out that my strengths are in strategic thinking, it changed everything. I was like, okay, I now know, and I've gotten super clear on the fact that this is what I am the best at. This is what I was born to do. This is what my strengths are. It changed everything. And it's done the same for so many other people. And like I said, we've just done this in the Creators Brand Club. It was amazing. Everybody was like, oh my God, this is so good. Nadine specifically said that it has put me in touch with my strengths and finally pushed me across the line to sit my strengths assessment, which is the Gallup Strengths Assessment, which has changed a whole lot in my business. Nadine has changed so much about what she's offering and how she's branding that and how she speaks about herself. She rewrote her whole about page. This is really transformative for yourself and also for your audience. I've done it, Nadine's done it, everybody in the club's done it. So many other people have started to think about these strengths and infusing that into their brand, and I highly, highly recommend that you do the same. So let's talk about my strengths. So as I said, there's a strengths assessment. It's called the Gallup Strengths Assessment. And basically how it works is there are 4 domains of strengths. It means that there's like 4 categories. These are strategic thinking, execution, relationship building, and influence. And there are 34 strengths that all are in one of those categories, right? So you can have an infinite combination of these 34 strengths. That's what's so cool about it, is that everybody has such a different selection or combination of these strengths that makes them super unique. When we did this in the Creators Brand Club, it was so cool to see how everybody's were so different. Nadine and I were pretty similar, but had some different ones. And then somebody else had like completely different, more relationship building and influence ones. I've got friends and clients that I've done this with on a one-on-one basis who's are way different to mine, and it's so cool. And so my top 5 strengths are intellection, focus, futuristic, learner, and relator. 3 of those are strategic thinking strengths. 1 is a executing strength and 1 is a relationship building strength. That means that most of my top strengths are in strategic thinking, right? So it made sense for me to realize this and go all in on that. Right? And the cool thing about the 34 strengths is that you get your 5 top strengths, and then if you pay for the full assessment, you can see what your top 34 strengths are. And the great thing is that these strengths are what you're good at. The ones at the bottom of the list are not ones that you're bad at. They're just not as strong as your top 5, right? My number 34 is adaptation. Obviously not very good at adapting, right? But I could focus really, really hard on improving my adaptability, getting better at going with the flow and like adapting to different situations. And I could move number 34 up my list, right? So it's not that they're not your strengths, they're just not your top ones. So you can work on any of these and make them your top strengths, however you like to. But I think it's best to focus on the 5 that are your top 5 and think, how can I make the most of these strengths that I am naturally really good at? I haven't focused on any others. I'm just living my life. I'm doing my business. I'm being creative. And these are the things that I'm naturally good at. How can I make the most of that, share that with the world, and get the most out of it? What you can do is take the test. You will get your top 5 strengths at least, or you can, like I said, pay for the upgraded version and get your whole 34 and find out all of them and where they all lie. And you will start to understand what it is that makes you so unique, right? And use those strengths to infuse them into your brand, to tell your story, to use them as part of your unique selling points, right? I can use my strengths as a strategic thinker, talk about how my strength as a relator means that I can draw the best, deepest, most powerful information out of you to create the most effective and powerful brand strategy ever, right? I can talk about that. I can infuse that into my brand. I can start to make decisions about my brand and my business that are based on these strengths. And it also means that when I'm thinking about building my brand, I know that I am not the best at executing. I know that I have 0 influence strengths, right? What I can do is I can delegate those things to other people. I have a VA because I'm not good at executing tasks, right? I am a visionary person. I have the ideas. I know what I want to do. I can plan out how to get there. But then when it comes to actually doing the thing, that is not my strength. My strength is in thinking strategically about how it's all going to work. Think about with this podcast. I'm trying to build my brand through this podcast to get known as someone who talks about branding your passion. And as part of that, I'm the visionary, right? I'm the one who's going to be talking, and I'm going to be planning what topics we want to talk about. And then I have my wonderful, amazing VA and my editor who help me to put these episodes together, because without them, it would never happen, right? So I'm thinking strategically, which I'm good at, but I'm being smart about using my strengths to my advantage. You can do the same too. How do you infuse your strengths into your brand? Firstly, take the test and learn about what your strengths mean, how you can make the most out of them, what kind of the downfalls of your strengths are, because there are flip sides to each of your strengths. One of the examples is that I'm a futurist. That's one of my top 5 strengths, and it's amazing. I love that that's part of who I am. I am always thinking about the future. I'm dreaming about how we can make things better, how I can improve, what everything's going to look like in the future, and what my business is going to be like. I love that stuff. But the downfall of being a futurist is that I find it very difficult to appreciate what's going on now, to celebrate small wins that happen now, like be grateful for those things. I have to be very intentional about gratitude, being in the here and now. So you can learn all about your strengths, what makes you unique, what they mean for you, and how you can make better decisions, infuse them into your brand. And you can do that in many ways. You can start talking about your strengths, right? Writing it as part of your story. On your about page, you can talk about how you've gotten to these strengths and how they make you different. Use your strengths as your unique selling points in your marketing and your sales. And you can use your strengths to start making decisions about how you grow your brand. Like I said, with me growing the podcast, starting the podcast, making the podcast work that's trying to grow my brand, you've got to make smart decisions about where to spend your time and your energy based on what your strengths are. I hope that this has been really, really interesting, learning about your strengths and how you can infuse them as part of your brand and use them to really transform your business. I've changed everything since learning about my strengths and going all in on them. And I highly recommend that you do the same. If you feel like your business and your brand could be stronger, if you really leaned into what these strengths are, I say go for it. And I hope that this episode has given you a little bit of insight into what strengths look like and what they mean and how they can be used as part of your brand. I would love to know what your top 5 strengths are. I think this is super fascinating. I love to get to know people through things like this. Let me know what your strengths are in the comments, or DM me or tag me on Instagram. I would love to hear it. We can start a conversation about how to use those strengths as part of your brand. As always, I hope you've really enjoyed this episode, and if you have liked this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.